So a shakeup in Jeb Bush's campaign before he's officially a candidate. That will come next week. He'll officially declare. But of course, he's been making his way around the country for months. He's been raising a lot of money. What do we make of the fact that they brought in this guy, David Kokel? And many of you at home, you're not going to know these names, and the names themselves aren't that critical. But they brought in this guy, David Kokel. He was going to be the big guy. Now they're saying he's going to still be important, but he's not going to be the campaign manager. Danny Diaz, a longtime Republican communications consultant, gets that job. What's the problem here?
Well, I think Dave Kochel and Danny Diaz bring very different skill sets to this table. And when you look at this shakeup, it actually makes a lot of sense. Dave Kochel didn't really make sense as a campaign manager. He's kind of a bigger thinker. He's a chief strategist. He's from Iowa. He did a lot there in the state for Mitt Romney. Danny Diaz is really a taskmaster. He's the guy who sleeps 5 hours a night, who's read everything when he gets up in the morning, and makes sure everyone knows what they're going to do. And he also knows how to drive a message and sort of work the fast-moving media cycles we're in right now. None of these were Dave's strong suits.
But does this change anything? Jeb Bush is still out of step with the Republican base on immigration. Right. Jeb Bush is still out of step with the Republican base on education. Jeb Bush is the candidate, and for all the staff shakeups in the world, candidates win or lose elections.
The larger issue here is that campaigns that are going well don't have staff shakeups before they even launch. And the fact is that there was obviously a need to make a change in the pre-campaign season here, because the first 6 months of Jeb Bush's de facto campaign have been mixed. And the fact is...
Mixed. He was supposed to be the front runner. You're being kind this morning. I appreciate that. Morning kindness is good. But everyone assumed he would be the early front runner or the leader.
But look, you know, on one hand, he's going to raise $100 million, which is serious money. But there's no question that he's got real problems with actual voters. And that's going to be his challenge. And so you're right, the staff stuff is fascinating. But the larger issue here is, why was this needed in the first place? And it was needed because Jeb Bush, who was supposed to be the sort of force in the race, financially is a force, but otherwise has some real challenges.
And do either of you believe, this is the hard part for me, and again, folks, these names, I know we're getting way inside the weeds here, but it matters in terms of the structure of a campaign. Mike Murphy is Jeb Bush's longtime strategist, in some ways an alter ego. He's a whisperer to his candidates. If you know Mike Murphy in the campaign, he's always in touch, texting and emailing his candidates. He's talking to them all the time. He's going to go over to the super PAC and run the super PAC, which by law means he's not supposed to talk to the campaign, including the candidate, about strategy. I'm sorry, I have a hard time believing that Mike Murphy's going to stay over here, and when Jeb Bush does something right or wrong out here, it's not going to be in touch with him.
Right. He doesn't have to have the handcuffs on to not grab his phone and call or text Jeb. They want Murphy, I think, over there because they want to have somebody who knows the candidate well, who is producing a lot of the ads that are sort of driving the message of the campaign on the super PAC side. But there's no question it's going to be very difficult for Jeb not to have his top strategist come, and if these debates don't go well, is there going to be a temptation to pull Murphy back to the other side?
We'll watch as this one plays out. Campaigns do have shakeups. This one, a lot of Republicans are saying, aha, more proof Jeb's in trouble. I remember it was later, but I remember Bill Clinton's whole campaign got shaken up. Mickey Cantor out, Carville and Magala in. Hillary Clinton orchestrated that one.
And John McCain this time in 07,
John McCain did this in 07 as well. So we'll watch how this one plays out. The official announcement from Jeb Bush next week. He's taking a European trip this week.